Hello everybody and welcome back to day 21 of Vlogtober. And it's a Tuesday you're watching this, which means it's a Monday, which means, if you know by now, if you've been an avid Vlogtoberer watcher of mine, you will know that today, the Mondays, so your Tuesday, my Mondays, are always horrendous in terms of content, but also in terms of weather, it seems. It's been raining non-stop. I can't leave the house because I can't find me a brolly, but I'm gonna go outside actually to go and check on that sink hole because it has been raining for the past 2 days solidly. I do want to go and check it and just make sure, like the lawn in general is not sinking anywhere else. My Mondays are very much a kind of like, I think I have my reset days. Rather than a Sunday reset, I do a Monday reset. The Monday mornings, I like to just get everything sorted, get a wash on, sort out bits and bobs in the house, that kind of thing, set myself a list of things that I need to get done. And then Mondays, I try and anyone that wants to speak to me or meet with me or anything like that, I usually put it on a Monday to do meetings and various calls and just trying to get bits and bobs sorted for the future. So it's like my planning day. So it is always a stinker. It's always a stinker of a vlog, in my eyes. Maybe you guys like that kind of stuff and you like the shorter, kind of more boring vlogs. I hope not. So it's currently 3:30 in the afternoon. It's 3:30 and I'm only just starting the vlog. Ooh, M&Ms. But what I thought I would do, because I have got so many started tasks that I've done in terms of like making Halloween stuff, and I've not finished them. I thought I'd either try and start that mask off, maybe make something else, or even get started on one of those pumpkins and do something with those pumpkins. It's not gonna be a fail vlog. I'm gonna be optimistic. It's not gonna be a fail vlog. It's gonna be fun. It's actually, to be fair, keep watching, because this is probably gonna be the best vlog that I've done of the entire October. Okay, moment of truth. This bit, no, we're good here. The big moment of truth. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, do you know what? That's all right. I think my only concern is this side here has kind of caved in a bit more. Look. I don't know if you can see it. Look, there's a bit of a lip on that side, which is slightly concerning. I'm going to take some photographs and send it to my landscaper and see what he reckons. But in some good news, oh no, it's no, wait. The poo's still in there as well. But in some good gardening news, I actually had a meeting last week with somebody who owns a company sort of in our area that wants to work with us to help us do like designs for how we want our garden to look in the future. I'm like a garden designer. A designer, the ones that make like the kind of renders, but for gardening. So you get printouts and you can see how it's gonna look through like computer graphics and things like that. I feel like it's an easier term to describe what they are. Why isn't it? Landscape designers? Landscape designers. Yeah. Landscape designers. As I mentioned before, the garden, I love it, but it just needs a little bit more injection of personality and something, more flowers, more pollinator plants, and just some ideas for down the bottom down there as well. And there's lots of different bits and bobs. I've done some of it myself to a degree in terms of like knowing what I want, and me and Diane putting our minds together to think of what we'd like to go in those spaces. But I do think it's a good idea to work with somebody on that, and somebody who knows what they're doing, who can also give a different point of view as to what they think would work. The garden at the moment is very much like how I would do it if I was on The Sims. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's like a Sims garden. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it's a modern house, so the garden actually fits the house really well. But I like to see how far we can push the boundaries in terms of like modernization to go into a little bit more sort of like, I don't want to say like traditional too much, because obviously a modern house and a traditional garden there's a point where it's too far apart. But like, just for example, something like this, like I mentioned before, this thing here that we bought from the old house works really well in a modern garden, but it's an old piece of kit. It's an old water trough, galvanized water trough butt or something. It'd be hopefully at some point next year, maybe the year after, depending on like what our plans are. But The idea would be hopefully to work with this company to get the plans up at least, what we want it to look like, which I will share with you guys as soon as that happens, hopefully happens. And then we just wait until we can get it into action and make it happen. But I would like to also chip in and help out with the actual landscaping. So I feel like I'd love that. Right, which one of you is going to be my first carving? Ooh! We've already bagsied that one. I think it's one of these two. These are good ones for our heads. I think that's the ones for me and Diane's heads. Oh, no, I don't know. I think maybe this one, you know. Yeah, you're the one. Okay, first things first, we're gonna wipe this pumpkin down, like so. Oh, I've literally just wiped a pumpkin's arse. Oh, you dirty thing. Ooh, and this is our canvas for today. So I think the vibe I'm gonna go for, I don't know if to try and like carve a face into this bit, just this bit here, or to go the other side and make a giant mouth. Either way, I want to do a mouth, I think. It's just which side do we do it on? I'm kind of thinking we do it on this side, and then if it all goes tits up, I can turn it round and do another little face on here. I think that's the plan. First things first, I'm going to get my overalls on because I do not want to get pumpkin seeds and that inside bit all over my clothes. So BRB. Okay, baby, let's do this. I've got my pumpkin carving set, and I've realized, because I'm on a one camera setup here, the G7X camera that I had sent off to go and see if it could be repaired, turns out Canon can actually repair it. It's gonna cost me, I think, £170. That's after they've minus the 50 quid from before. So it's still expensive, but I was like, do you know what? Just get it fixed anyway. I really miss that camera. That camera was great. Let's bring it back. So that's gone in for repair. This looks like an accident waiting to happen. Do you know what? I'm gonna have my phone at the ready to call an ambulance. I feel like it's gonna make a massive mess. But the way I'm gonna do it, actually, I'm gonna be very clever about how I do this. I'll try and like carve sideways on like this so you can kind of see. But I thought whilst I am carving and trying to do something on this pumpkin, I thought I would do a Q&A just so you have something to watch or to listen to, so it's not a complete fail of a vlog. So, it's weird to think that this is a vegetable. Grow in the ground. You compare this to the size of like a tomato or a pea. It's just nuts that we have these. You just grow them from the ground. And they grow so well over here as well. Huge. Anyway, how am I going to... I need like a scraping tool, which I feel like is the one thing... Oh, this has got protection. Is this what I need? I'm not doing any like proper cutting into it. I'm just gonna... I want to make a mouth. So I'm going to just lightly score, very, very lightly score with this like scalpely thing without cutting towards. Oh, it's starting to weep. Oh no. Oh no, it's crying out its mouth. I'm gonna do like a nice big rounded mouth. Who is messaging me at this hour? That's definitely Diane. Oh no, it's Baron! Right, oh, I think I've gone wrong already. It's fine, because we can adjust any mistakes. I've realised I've not carved a pumpkin in a long time. Right, okay. I've got my mouth. There's a lot of juice coming out of it. So what I'm gonna do now is, I guess try and chisel away at it. Ooh! Okay. Be careful, Joe. We don't want any more bake-off disasters. No fainting today. No trips to A&E. And I'm hoping there's no edit on this where it says this was brilliant foreshadowing, because that would make me upset. Because hopefully there will be no trips to A&E tonight. Not on my watch. I'm not wearing a watch. I want to do one of those fancy pumpkins where you know what I'm talking about, when they like carve it away but not properly. It's not like your traditional 2 triangles and a thingy-majiggy. I'm trying to get really artsy with it. Hence why I am being like this with it. If I can just trim that bit off, yeah. Whoops. We're getting it everywhere, but we'll tidy up tomorrow. It's fine. Have I got any tools that are just better than that? I don't think I have. This looks sharp. Yo. Oh my, this is my favorite one. This is very satisfying. The old chisel, it's like a chisel mason. Oh, that's so satisfying. This is typical Joe Suck. There was a time where I really wanted to take up wood carving as another little bloody side hustle, side quest thing that I wanted to do, along with golf, fishing, drawing, bloody you name it. Joe of all, this is classic. I should have changed my channel name to Joe of all trades. In fact, maybe I should do that. I'm no longer Thatcher Joe, I'm just Joe of all trades. Master of none. But I actually went out and bought like a proper chisel set. And I was properly gonna start learning how to carve, like I just wanted to carve faces into trees, like the rural Banksy. No one would know it's me, but there'd be just random faces in trees in and around Wiltshire and Sussex. Obviously that never happened, but I have still got the chisels in my garage. So maybe one day I will give that a go. If this goes well and I'm missing it post-Halloween, then I could give it another go. But what I might do in places, guys, I think I will cut to me a bit further on down the process, but I'm just doing this to prove that it is me doing it and I've not just done a, here's one I made earlier type thing. I am finding it very therapeutic, but I am slightly concerned that the mystery editor has to sit through hours and hours of Joe Sugg carving a pumpkin. That can't be fun. And I'm the one doing it. I'm having all the fun. The thing is, all this bit I'm doing here, I'm gonna cut through this anyway at some point, but let's just really get into the meat and bones of it now. Let's really get in there, yes. We are actually getting somewhere. You can kind of see what I'm going with here. Why do I keep slapping it? Stop it. Let's do some questions. So I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions whilst I'm doing this, just so I can, so you actually get something to properly watch for today's vlog. The first question came in saying, would you and Diane do a podcast? Now, it's funny you say that. And it's funny that I picked that one to answer, because I have actually got a meeting, I think this week, at some point this week, with a big like sort of podcast distributor. There's an idea that I pitched for an idea for me and Diane to do a podcast. Because if we're going to do a podcast, I'd want it to be something like, I know we obviously tried different podcasts in the past, and obviously me and Casper had that thing going where it was just kind of like meet up and just general chat, which I know people do like, but I still like, I think for a podcast to have longevity, you need to have some sort of like format. It can be quite loose, but as long as you've got certain things that you sort of talk about and you have a common, like a theme or something, I think that's the key to, and it might just be, it could be anything, but as long as you've got like a thing that your podcast is kind of about and a clear vision of what you want it to be, then I think that's how they are successful and sort of stand the test of time. And so I've been working on this format for me and Diane for a while now, actually. And I have a meeting about it this week or next week with, like I said, a big distributor to see if they like the idea and want to get behind it and sort of basically make it happen. Because obviously the thing that's going to be tricky for me and Diane is finding the time in amongst both our sort of schedules. I say both our schedules. Here's me carving a pumpkin on a Monday night. But I mean, like with Diane, with dancing and things like that, it'd be good to sort of still have complete creative control. So we'd still own the IP and all that kind of stuff. And that's a big point in doing podcasts is, for me, owning the IP, owning the idea and making sure that it does feel like it's us, and not finding a partner or someone that can work on it with us that also agrees with that and allows that. So that's the plan. That's where we're at. So yes, the answer to your question is yes, we would do a podcast together. We have an idea. We're just hoping we can, hoping this meeting goes well, and I'll let you know how it goes. And if we get one step closer to doing a podcast together. That is kind of like the outline of the mouth. Right, okay, that'll do. It looks like an Among Us character right now, which I'm not quite happy with, but that will change. Moving on to stage number 2. What I'm gonna need is my trusty saw claw thing. I'm gonna cut out the actual mouth. No, I'm not gonna do that. What am I gonna do next? I need like a tool that's better than this, like more detailed. Maybe this little fella with a protective cover on. I need to score out gums and then teeth. How are we gonna do this? So if we had gums, we'd have the gums about there. Main thing is working out where our 2 front teeth are gonna go. So we're gonna do a mark there and go, so you'd have a bit like that and a bit like that. I've already cocked that up, but we will continue on. Then we'll go down like that. Then we're gonna carve out the middle of the pumpkin and just keep the gums. I don't know whether to do like pumpkin teeth or potato teeth, because potato is a lighter color than pumpkin. So it stands out and looks more like white teeth, and then I can like glue them in somehow. I'm just not quite sure how I do that, especially the top teeth. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mark out the pumpkin teeth as well. Sorry guys, there's a lot of concentration and drawing from me. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, you probably can't, but I've vaguely, roughly drawn out where I want my, ooh, sharp and pokey. I've vaguely worked out where I want my teeth to go and the gums. So now I'm gonna just do this and cut across the mouth like this to there. And I'm gonna cut out deep, and then I'm gonna basically sketch in and work that out. Not a question, but my husband and I watch your vlogs to have some calm after Tom's. Well, thank you very much. The thing is, right, that's a lovely compliment, but also I'm assuming a compliment to Tom, because you watch Tom as well. Tom is one of my favorite vloggers to watch. To me, the way he vlogs is such like a unique style. I love it. When I spend time with Tom, I end up naturally, like I think a lot of people, when they spend time around Tom, you naturally start to pick up on how he does things, and there's method to it. It works, and it's for me, it's a very engaging way of watching someone. So I love it. I just don't have his energy. I wish I did have his energy, but I just do not have his energy. I'm like the after 8 mint. Tom's starter, main, and dessert. That makes more sense. Tom's starter, main, and dessert. I'm the little after 8 mint you get at the end of the dinner. That's how I like to see myself, by doing these very like relaxing Bob Ross-esque pumpkin carvings. Happy little pumpkins. Stop slapping it. If you had to be in a horror film, which one do you think you'd most likely be able to survive in? What film? I mean, I would say the Scream movies, because I feel like the people in those movies, like they just get themselves into stupid situations. Like I feel like anyone else, any like normal person would not get in, they just would know what to do. So I'd probably say the Scream movies. The one I'd least like to be in, and I think it would be Nightmare on Elm Street, because it's like all based in like dreams. For me, that's like, oh God, that would be my worst, not literally my worst nightmare, because I like to sleep. Do you know what I mean? So like, I need the sleep. Get out. Yes. Oh. Okay. This is going to work, I think. Tell you what, these pumpkin carving tools don't half make a difference. A bit more progress, we're starting to get teeth. It's not quite looking how I imagined it, but hey, it's part of the learning process. I'm gonna go up here, give a little bit of like, it's giving me a slight Wallace and Gromit vibes, which I'm not mad about in the slightest. Right, now we're gonna cut out the bottom side of the teeth. That should give us some more space underneath as well, which is exciting. But let's have another question. One thing I'm looking forward to in Q1 of 2025. Q1, that makes it sound like very like businessy and very LinkedIn. But I will answer your question. One thing I'm looking forward to at the start of next year is Casper and Amber's wedding. They're getting married next year. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't actually know how much they've spoken about it, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail because obviously it's for them to talk about. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be quite surreal, I think, to see my buddy of God knows how long, Casper Lee, to tie the knot. It's exciting. And I can sense all of you in the comments going, Joe, when is it your turn? When are you going to do it? When are you... Shut up! I don't know how I'm going to make the teeth like rounded, but there's got to be a tool there to do that somewhere. And I realise you guys also can't see it, but we'll get some close-up soon. I actually wish you'd talk more about running. Will you start marathon training? After doing the Oxford half last week, straight after doing the half marathon, I was like, there's no way I could now do that all over again. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't do like 2 of these in a row. No chance. But now it's been a little bit of time since that. I definitely do like the idea of doing a marathon, and I was actually asked if I wanted to do the marathon earlier this year for Age UK. I wasn't ready for it this year, but next year I'm well keen. So I think I'm going to pick up conversations there, and if they can get me a spot to run for Age UK, which is a charity that I'm an ambassador of, then I think that could be the one. I think the London Marathon, I said if I'm ever going to do a marathon, it's got to be the London Marathon, especially because that's the one my mum ran. I think that would be the best choice for me, and it's relatively flat, I think, but also it's going around a city that I spent a lot of my time in. I think it'd be the easiest one for me to do in terms of getting me through it, knowing that I'm running in a place that I'm very familiar with. I think that would be wicked, and I'd love that. And I think especially finishing in front of Buckingham Palace and give the King a wave, it'd be great. So yeah, I would love to do a marathon. I'm going to aim to do the London Marathon next year. If I can't do that, I'll find one to do. But maybe I'll do one before that. But I would like my first marathon at least, to be the London Marathon, for sure. I'm currently just now cutting out the bottom bit of his mouth. It's taking shape. It definitely looks very me. Another question. Do you think you will start gaming again for the channel? I used to love to watch you play scary games. In an ideal world, right, and this is where I realised that I'm not quite the driven young soul I used to be in terms of content creation. I guess like priorities change and things like that as you get older, I don't know, but in an ideal world, I would have had my gaming channel all set up, ready to go, and I would be doing daily videos in this month, but also daily gaming content as well, because I was so keen. I said before, October is the month where I sort out my setup, finally get the internet decent in that room, and get back into streaming and gaming content and things like that. I think more so the idea of doing gaming videos. I do love streaming, and I definitely want to get back to streaming. But for now, one, I don't know if my internet can handle it, or in that room in particular, but I think actually now it probably could. But it's just getting all the setup. I think all my equipment is now so out of date and just doesn't really work. I just need a full new bits of kit. There's some stuff that I have that broke in the move and doesn't work anymore. But gaming is something that wasn't just like a thing of jumping on it because it was popular on YouTube. I think a lot of you will know that I've always been a very, very keen gamer. I've always loved it, and it's something that I know I'll always love as well. So even if I wasn't doing YouTube or anything like that, I would still be gaming 100%. Definitely maybe it's something for November perhaps, to really knuckle down. In fact, saying that, I have got a call with pink-haired Grant tomorrow morning to discuss how we're going to get my channel back up and running. That's Joe Games, Joe Sugg, streaming, like all that kind of stuff, what the plan is. I think he's been sick. Blah. We're going to go from there and try and get something working, because I'm desperate to get back into the gaming. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, I'm getting that pumpkin smell now. Okay, so this, oh my God, it's still so heavy. It's kind of working. You're getting heavier. That's the heaviest pumpkin I've ever had the pleasure of working with. We've kind of got the outline of our mouth. Now I've got to go in the detail and just sort of scoop out the difference between the gums and the teeth. And it's a bit of like, this is where the woodworking skills come in, I feel like. The woodworking skills that I don't have. Favorite horror movie? Another question that's been asked is my favorite horror movie. I think favorite horror movie, I actually don't know. Favorite horror movie? In terms of like Favourite horror movie in terms of one that's genuinely scared me the most in recent times? I don't really... I jump a lot, but I don't get scared watching horror movies. Not since like the early days of... Okay, I've got a few. I've got to give a shout out to Paranormal Activity, the first one and the second one, because those films genuinely, in that sort of time where Orange Wednesdays was a thing, like horror movies, like those films were massive and they felt real. And I remember driving home after going to the cinema with my friends, watching those movies and genuinely being scared as like a 18, 17-year-old lad. I was terrified to go to bed that night. I was so scared because I genuinely, it made me think that it felt real. It definitely felt real at the time. So I'd definitely say those films, the Paranormal Activity, the first two films of those were a big deal and some of my favourites, just in terms of scaring. The last film that I've watched that's genuinely quite scary for me is a film called Ancestry? Is it Ancestry? I've forgotten what it's called, but you know which one I'm talking about, with the girl that goes, that one. That was Hereditary. That's what I'm thinking of, Hereditary. That film was the last one that genuinely scared me, I think, when I was watching it. Didn't like that one, but I think in terms of like classic scary film, I did like It. I thought that was good. Wasn't really that scary for me. Go on, be sick, get it out, get it out. The Halloween movies I loved. I don't know how I'm gonna get all this crap out from it without getting I'm gonna have to get my hands in, aren't I? Right, I'm going in, mate. I'm sorry, but it's gonna make you lighter. We're gonna try and get all these pumpkin seeds out. Ooh, I don't like this. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Classic. I feel like I'm missing like a big one. I'll leave it to you in the comments as well. Please let me know what your opinions are in terms of like the best horror movie that you've ever seen. I don't think there's ever really been one that I've watched and gone, whoa, that has changed my life. Yeah, the Halloween movies, obviously Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. The weird thing is, like, I grew up watching those movies. Like, we used to buy them as cassette tapes from car boot sales because you didn't get ID'd at car boot sales, really. They could refuse to sell them to us, but most people were just happy to get rid of their old VHSs. So like me and my sister, we grew up watching an awful lot of horror movies that were 18 plus, that definitely we were not allowed to be watching as kids, which makes my parents sound awful, but it wasn't their fault. We were just sneaky about it. And we turned out all right, I think. He says as he's carving a pumpkin at God knows what time. I'll have a think about that because I'm sure there's one that I'm thinking of that really is my favourite one, but I cannot remember. My hand's actually stuck inside his mouth. There we go. I love how my other half this evening is at the Pride of Britain Awards on behalf of Strictly Come Dancing, and yet I'm here carving a pumpkin. For those wondering why I'm not there, I wasn't actually invited. I think it's like one of those things where it's like you go. It's like a Strictly thing where you go. It's all the only people invited are the current cast of Strictly. So the year I went was the year that I was in it, but I haven't been invited back since then. I guess it's because I'm not classed as TV enough. I don't know. Where's that bit of toilet roll I used to wipe your ass? Out. Okay, that should make him a heck of a lot lighter. Nope, still weighs a ton. Why are you so heavy? Okay, but now I'm going to tip him up like this and try and, I guess, find the right tool to chisel. Yeah. To give him like teeth. Just to, this chisel tool is definitely the best one out of all of them because you can actually get this sort of tooth-like design on it as well. Really nice. Let's do another question. Will I go for a dunk in the sea for October? Now, I do live quite close to the sea, and if I had had that question come in early this morning, then I probably would have gone and done it there and then because I was like, crap, how am I going to get a vlog? What am I going to do for a vlog for today? Because obviously, like I mentioned before, Mondays are the worst day for me for vlogging wise. Do you know what? I will do that, especially after how he was in a couple of vlogs ago. I will do that if Alfie Days comes and does it with me. So can you all do me a favour and message Alfie and say, you and Joe, what day are you going for a dip in the sea before Vlogtober ends? Because he really struggled with the ice bath last time when he came around mine. So if If we can get Alfie to do it, then I'll happily do it as well. But I need Alfie to come with me. Otherwise, I don't know if I want to go and do that on my own. Guys, you know what to do. Go and speak to Alfie Days and say, when are you going to go in the sea with Joe before Vlogtober ends? Because I'd do it. I actually think all the ice bath thing that I've been doing recently, I think I'd find it quite easy, because I think the ice bath is actually set to a colder temperature than what the sea currently is. I might be wrong, but I reckon I'd be okay. If I've got my wetsuit shoes on, then there's no stopping me. Know what I mean? Okay, right, let's see if we can make him be sick again. Yeah, nice, good boy. Getting it all out. Yeah, yeah, baby. It's starting to take shape. It's not exactly how I want it yet. This could go on all night. Mystery Air Terrier is going, oh no. Just make it stop. Surely that's done. No, it's not finished yet. Because I want to now differentiate the tooth from the gum. It's a very important part of creating a pumpkin masterpiece. The tool-wise, I don't really think I've got a tool that can do it, except for maybe this. So we're going to see how we get on, if we can kind of get some sort of differentiation between the tooth and the gum. Yeah, I really don't know how people do this. That's not the right tool. I think it's the chisel. All day long, the chisel has been the absolute key to all of this. Let's start from here. So we want to go in. Okay, this might just work. This is me being really picky now. It's going to work. Happy about that. It is a little bit rough, but we will make it work. Yeah, that looks way better. You can't see yet, but trust me, it's going to look good. Another question that came in was, if I could live anywhere in the world, where would I live? I get asked that actually more often than I thought I would, but genuinely, I just can't. This may sound like a lot of people will go, what, really? But I can't see myself. I've traveled, I've been very fortunate that I've traveled a lot of the world, but I just can't see myself living anywhere other than the UK. Don't get me wrong, it has its flaws, big time, but I don't know, for me, the UK, there's times where I mean, obviously the main one is the weather. The weather is bad, but when we do get good weather in England, I just think there's no better place to be. I don't know, I still love living here, and I wouldn't want to, yeah, I don't know, I just do think that it is one of the best places, I think. I still love it anyway. This is really working. Oh, I'm well happy with this. It's actually starting to kind of take shape and look quite good. Phew, I thought it was going to be an absolute fail. Oh, interesting question. Are you still considering building your own world for storytelling, in brackets, akin to Lord of the Rings, etc.? Well, obviously, it's never going to be the level of Lord of the Rings, but I'm still working on it. It's one of those things where it takes up a lot more time than I think it will. I want to get it right. I've mentioned this before, I really want to get it right and do something that I'm really proud of and really comes from me, and it's something that I want to take my time with and really put like time and thought and effort into it. I genuinely think at some point, maybe in November, I'll share something more on that with you guys, see what you think, because like I said, I want it to kind of be a bit of a collaborative process as well, in terms of you lot asking me questions about it, which helps me sort of build the world out more and find the answers to your questions to help get it to where I want it to get to. I've written loads of stuff in my like notebooks and stuff on it, just in general, of like different areas, different people that live in this world and all this kind of stuff, and building like, I guess like kind of building the lore to it all and stuff, and like why certain things that live there the way they are, what their backstories all are. Like I'm really sort of going into trying to get into some like depth of it, but also to be aware that it's my first time doing something like that. So obviously I've got a long way to go, and I think the more I get into it, the more I'm like going back to old bits and going, actually, no, I can do better than this, or I can improve this bit. But it's definitely something that I'm loving the process of, but I'm just, like I said, really taking my time with it, because I want to get it to a point where I'm really pleased with it. But yeah, hopefully I'll share something with you next month, if not in December at some point, just to sort of see what you think. And once the world's built, I want to make some short stories from that world. So just little short stories that sort of introduce you to the different types of folk that live in this particular world. And then if we enjoy those and people enjoy those, then we try and take it to the next level and make an actual proper story from this place, and then just sort of see where it can get to. But I'm not holding out lots of hope. Like, I'm just sort of taking it as it is. I don't want to put pressure on myself, but it's something that does excite me, and that's something that I think we'll see a lot more of next year in 2025. Okay, this bit's taking longer than I thought. Okay, right, I've done a lot more to it, to the point where I can literally put my hand in now and grab stuff out of his mouth quite easily. Okay, more questions. Have the doves returned? The people need to know. The doves have not returned. I have no idea what's going on, but the doves have not returned. Admittedly, I've not been going down to the kitchen at my usual time, but tomorrow I am up early, so I'm going to see if by getting up even earlier than I normally do, maybe I can catch them. But I've just not seen them eat at all. Like, even Diane said she hasn't noticed them when she gets up early to go to Strictly. So yeah, we can't work it out. We don't know what's going on. I hope they're okay. If you're watching this, then get in touch. Let me know you're safe. It's awful. Where did you get the massive creepy guy that's chilling in the corner of your dining room? For a second, I didn't know who you were talking about then. Then it's clicked. Yeah, the clown. It's called Mad. I think it's called like Mad About Horror or something. I will leave a link to their website down in the description below. They're not the cheapest of decorations, but I mean, we've used it every year for like 3 years, and I think they're great. So I would recommend it. Like I said, they're not the cheapest, but worth it, I think. Do I miss old YouTube? Now, I get this question a lot as well. Do I miss old YouTube? The answer, I think, is like, there's times where I do really miss those times, because those times were so great. I think in today's world, the stuff that we made, like I said before, I just don't think would touch the sides of what YouTube is now or be seen at all. I think I was so lucky to have started when I did. Do I miss it? Like, there's times where I think I definitely do miss it, but I'm so glad that I got to experience it. So like, if I could hit a switch and go back and sort of do all that again, I don't think I would, because I worry that it'd be different. I do still love this platform. Like, I love now. This may sound like corny or whatever, but I genuinely love what I've got going on now. I love doing these vlogs for the people that watch these vlogs. Like, I'm not in a, even though I tell everyone to subscribe and stuff, I'm not trying to be the Joe Sugg that I was in my 20s, where I'm like, I want to gain all the subscribers. Like, the bigger the audience, the better. Like, to be honest, I love, and I've heard other YouTubers say this as well, of YouTubers saying like, I just like having my little corner of the internet with the people that watch me already. Like, that's all I could ask for. And I love it. I love the audience I have. I love you guys that watch these stuff. Like, I don't wish for what I did have again, in a way. I've experienced it. It was wicked, but somebody else's turn. Like, it's different now. Different things do better on YouTube, and I don't want to ever try and do stuff that's not me and that I don't feel comfortable with, and I don't want to fully lean into the game of YouTube and trying to be the biggest and the best on the platform. Whereas I think when I was younger, in my 20s, I was way more into that idea of like, okay, we need a bigger prank this week. We've got to do something big every single week. Whereas like nowadays, the stuff that I was doing that was considered like big in my eyes is nothing now compared to what some of these YouTubers are doing nowadays, like full team productions, and which, you know, I respect, and I think it's amazing. And to me, it's very interesting, especially in terms of like production company stuff. Like, I love the way that YouTube is going, but I will always still have a soft spot for the old days. And like, I do reminisce quite a lot on those days. And I realize I've not really answered your question, but hopefully you forgive me. I'm just cutting away these last little bits, and then I feel like we might be done for the mouth. Now, whether I do eyes or not, I'm not sure. I said it before, I'll say it again. This chisel tool was the only tool that I really sort of needed from this set, to be honest. That and the one that's scraped out the hole. I'm just gonna do like a little scratchy effect here, So it looks like the mouth is like bursting through the pumpkin. Yeah, baby, this looks sick. I've come a long way since the days of just doing 2 triangles and a zigzaggy mouth. Even when I was a kid, I was not happy with that. I was like, there's got to be a better way of making pumpkins. And I think I've finally found it. Who knew? All I needed was my trusty chisel. Then we've got to do the ones at the bottom, and then I think we'll leave it at that. I might, maybe at some point I'll put eyes on it, but I think for now, I don't really want to put eyes on. I think I kind of like it as is. Do I still do any singing instruments? Miss my singing? Well, thank you for a start. Do you know what? I had a song. Obviously, if you don't know, I have made some music in the past, and I have got another song that I never released, but I actually have no idea where I'd find that. It was actually a song about driving the camper van with Diane. That's not the name of the song, by the way. That's not what it was called. But I never released it. I should try and find it and just play it in a vlog one day to see what people think. But I would love to do more. I will actually link down to the songs that I have done if you haven't heard any of them before. But I would like to do more. I just think it's not really my. To do that, you know, it's not a quick process. There's a lot that goes into it, and I think just timing wise, it's not something that is top of my priority. I love the impression singing though. Like I would love to. A video idea that I've always wanted to do is singing impressions, but of popular singers. And so I do impressions of popular singers, how they sing, because I used to think I was really good at doing impressions of certain singers. So I'd like to one day do that with an actual like sound engineer or someone who knows how to help put the right stuff that the actual singers have on their voices so it sounds similar. Okay, I think I'm done. Did I miss any more questions out before I do the grand reveal? What advice would you give creatives looking to turn their passions into businesses? I think sometimes it's tricky because I want to say that's the wrong way to go about it, because ideally you want to keep your hobbies as hobbies, but nowadays with social media, it's so easy to turn it. I'm the bloody king of it, of finding something that I enjoy doing in my personal time, and then it ends up becoming like part of my career. But I think the goal is stick at it and make sure that you're still doing it for the love of doing it, not so much. The business side always comes secondary to your general enjoyment of what it is that you do that's creative. So you never want to wake up in the morning and go, oh, I've got to paint because I need to get that reel up, or I need to do this, that, and the other. You've got to paint because you want to paint. The business side, the creating the content side should always come secondary to you genuinely wanting to go out and make stuff and be creative. And building up an audience that no matter what creative endeavor you take on, you've got a solid group of people that like to join you on that process and that journey. Hopefully that helped. I'm not sure. You'll be pleased to know that is all the questions, and that is the end of the pumpkin carving. I think maybe tomorrow, depending on how this looks, I might add some eyes to it. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my monster pumpkin. Oh, still heavy. Ta-da! There we go. The mouth is done. A lot of the ones that I've seen are just mouths and have eyes, but I feel like he could have some really cool eyes on him at some point. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But for now, let me get you, that is how he's looking. It still weighs so much weight, my God. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Genuinely, I thought that was gonna be a lot worse than it actually turned out. So yeah, I'm pleased with that one. But thank you also for all your questions that you sent in. Once again, apologies, it's been like a random vlog and not felt like a day in the lifestyle vlog. The day in the lifers will return tomorrow. But like I said, it's a Monday. Mondays, it's just difficult. It's a nightmare to vlog on a Monday because there's just so much going on that I can't share as part of a daily vlog. But alas, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Oh, pumpkin seed stuck to my hand. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all again tomorrow with another vlog. Take care. Good night. Say good night.
Good night, Joe. Thanks for giving me a mouth.